Ever felt burned out? Of course you have, everyone has. Today I just wanted to talk a little bit about burnout, give you some of my deeper thoughts on it, and make the argument that burnout isn't necessarily a bad thing, it's just a bad feeling, and it has the power to change us. I don't feel like burnout needs an introduction. We all know what it feels like, and it can be one of the most demoralizing feelings when it hits, but I do want to make the distinction that I'm talking about actual burnout, not boredom or general dissatisfaction. I think it's something that we all run into from time to time, but we don't always know what to do about it. And on the surface, to be blunt, there's only one solution to burnout, and that is to quit doing whatever it is that you're doing that's giving you the feeling. And you're probably saying, wait a minute, that's your big revelation? And, well, sort of. But don't click off just yet, because there's a lot more to it than just quit. I'm fully aware, for example, that most of us can't just quit our jobs, myself included. Not yet, anyway. But I'm also not just talking about burnout at work. Burnout can come at us from anything we do with enough repetition: video games, hobbies, gigs, habits, the list goes on. But let's talk about burnout at work first, because I feel like that's where most of us feel it most often. And simply put, if you're getting burned out at work, you're either working too much or you're just not doing the right thing. And I've talked about this before, finding a career, the true meaning of the word, not a vocation or a job, but your actual calling. Check my video on that, by the way. But that's not something you can do necessarily overnight, or at least not usually in a way that'll compensate you enough to live on right away. But what happens if you don't even know what your real calling is yet? There's probably more people out there who don't than do. So what can you do? Well, that leaves us with you're working too much. Also not something that's easy to fix. With how expensive everything is these days, if you're working that much, it's likely for a reason. So are we out of options then? Doomed to just keep being miserable? Well, no, there are other possibilities. A few examples: just try changing things up. You can't exactly make a promotion appear out of nowhere, but what about lateral moves? Look for opportunities in other departments. Even changing up our routine at work can be a way to break the monotony and maybe get some passion back, or short of that, just getting to the point where you can stand being there again. And look for any chance you get during the day to just keep things spontaneous, or at least varied. You can also look for a completely different job. Even if you have to deal with the same crap right now while you're still looking, it can be helpful mentally to even just know that something different and potentially exciting is on the horizon. So, bottom line here is that a job should be a symbiotic relationship beyond just, I come to work, you pay me. If your employer doesn't give you the latitude to make some changes that would benefit not only you, but quite frankly them, with you being a happier, more productive employee, and likewise, because symbiosis, remember, if you don't feel compelled to be that productive employee, then it's probably time to start making some decisions, because there's always a choice. It's just up to you to figure out what that choice is and where it leads you in the future. But what about burnout in other places? We get burned out from hobbies too, but of course, these burnouts aren't quite so life-changing. Just take a break. That's literally it. Take some time away until you feel the draw to come back to it. Try and resist an early comeback, because what you should realize is that whatever the hobby is, you're getting burned out because either A, you're bored with it, or B, it just doesn't match your personality anymore. And if you're at that point, it's probably time to analyze if it even has a place in your life. Use the time you would spend on that hobby to try something new, find a new hobby, learn something, do something that'll better yourself in some way, or just do something mindless for enjoyment. It's a great opportunity to expand your experiences and knowledge, and who knows, maybe you'll find something that completely replaces the old hobby. How long have you been doing that old hobby anyway? Short term, if it's that, then it probably just isn't for you. Long term though, is it truly a part of who you are anymore? Or are you just doing it because it's what you've always done, regardless if the person you are now is totally different from who you were when you used to enjoy it? And that brings me to habits. We just talked about potential opportunities with hobbies, but what happens when you get burned out on a habit or a behavior? In my opinion, this is one of the most powerful and beneficial forms of burnout, because When we get burned out on something that is integral to ourselves and our personality, that's something that we can use to actually affect change in our lives. In my case, these types of burnout contributed a lot to my life reset, but I didn't really realize it at the time. I was burned out on everything, I realized later, not just my job or hobbies, but who I was and what my life had become, where I saw it going if I didn't change and do this reset. And again, not that I fully realized it at the time, but I had largely become burned out by my own habits. And that was a catalyst for me to start doing everything different. Cutting back on drinking, largely quit video games. Hell, even this channel has been a part of it. And it's something that I love doing every day now. And something I never would have discovered that I did enjoy if not for that burnout. But that's not all. I have other plans, businesses, things to build, a legacy that I want to leave. And none of it would have been possible without burnout. So the next time you feel burned out, especially if it's not obvious why, take a deep look inside yourself and identify the cause, because I guarantee that the ember is still there, just waiting for the right fuel to spark it. But most importantly, for you to keep stoking it once it does. And that's it for today. Let me know what you think of my take on this in the comments. And thanks so much for hanging out today. I really do appreciate it. Please do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe buttons. It really does mean the world to me and helps let the algorithm know that this video is worth the next person's attention. Until next time, take care.